Well, hi y'all, this is Ginger with Ginger Snap Thrifting. I know y'all watch all these things I thrift and wonder, what in the world does she do with this stuff? You know, I resell a lot of it, but a lot of it I just keep for use around the old blue house. And so I thought I'd show you some of the things I've kept for myself. So, and here's the turkey after I fixed his tail feathers and firmed them all up. Sitting there by that mum. I think he looks pretty cute. We're still working on getting our porch set up for fall, and I know we're a little bit late, but we'll get it done this next day or two. Remember this big pumpkin I thrifted? This old window frame had a grapevine wreath hung on it, but I took it off and put the pumpkin there. And there's my door wreath that y'all have seen before. And I took the wreath and just set it down here on this little chair of this little bistro set that we don't ever sit at. We just use it for decor. I'm here in the kitchen of the old blue house, so I'm going to show y'all what I did with this one item. You may remember I thrifted this edible bowl maker for $4 at a local thrift store. This says you can bake brownies, cornbread, cakes, whatever, for desserts and savory dishes. The pan looks like this. On this side, you've got mini muffins. And on this side, you've got these little donut shapes, but this does not go all the way up. So this forms a bowl. So I'm gonna try to make, I've got a big pot of beans with ham in the crock pot for dinner tonight, and I'm going to attempt to use this to make cornbread edible bowls, y'all. So we'll see how that works. I've got my oven preheating to 425. I've got me just a pack of my favorite Morrison's Texas cornbread. Morrison's cornbread is produced right here in Texas in Denton, which is up near Dallas. And I try to support Texas companies when I can. So let's get started on this cornbread. First, I'm just following the directions on the package. I've got one egg, one large egg here. Let me turn this down so you see what I'm doing. I'm going to whisk this up. Whisk it up really well. And to this, I'm going to add 2/3 a cup of milk. This is standard milk. I use whole milk. You could probably use 2%. I'm a whole milk kind of a girl. I'm going to whisk it together really well. Now I'm going to cut open my little cornbread mix. I really don't think this pan will hold much more than one mix. Normally I would make 2 batches of cornbread so that we have leftovers. And you could make, you could just have leftover cornbread, or you can make cornbread salad. But for this, I'm just going to do one. I'm going to stir it until it's well blended. Alrighty. Now I've got just some spray canola oil. I'm going to spray these wells really well. This is supposed to be a non-stick pan, but you know how that is. And then to fill it, I have a little ladle. So I want to fill it to the point that the little hump in there is covered. Now looky here, I might have to mix up this other one real quick. This pan came with a cookbook, but you know, when you thrift something, you don't always get all the pieces, and there was not a cookbook in it. So I am going to go ahead and mix me up this other package of cornbread. Okay, I've got this second one mixed up, and I'm just gonna ladle that in there. It's hard to tell with these pans how much they're gonna hold, especially when you don't have the instructions. You know, and something else about your thrifted bakeware, you really don't want to ever assume, even if it's in a new, looks like it's never been opened box, you don't want to assume everything's there and that it's been unopened. You always want to, you know, keep that in mind when you're out thrifting. All right, just gonna grab a paper towel, wipe off that little bit of spillage. Just because it will bake on there and be really, really difficult to clean. All right, my oven is preheated, like I said, to 425. Let me pop it in there. I'm gonna check it in about 15 minutes, and I'll be checking it until it's done. Well, y'all, we'll be back when they're ready to come out. We'll watch them come out of the pan. All right, I left them in for 12 minutes. I'm gonna spread out this cup towel to dump them out on. Let me turn this down so you can see what they look like. You see they're starting to crack across the top. They're getting a little brown around the edges. They're starting to pull loose. If you look down in the sides, they're pulling loose away from the pan a little bit. So let's see. Will they come out? Ah! All right. I'm going to gently go around the edges with a butter knife. Like I said, even though it says it's a non-stick, you never know. These did not appear to be scratched from someone, you know, having a problem getting them out before, but they did appear to have been used because there was a little food residue in one of the wells. All right, try it again. Well, y'all, this might be an epic fail. Tell you what, I'm gonna prop these up and let it set to cool upside down just a little bit. This might be a reason you really want the cookbook, right? All right, go let these set a few minutes. I'll come back and try it again. Okay, they sat upside down, propped up, so they could drop out. They did not drop out. They're now cool enough to told. Let's see if I can just try to get them out. Maybe we now know why this item was in the thrift store, right? trying to turn loose now. All right, let's try it again. One came out. Two came out broken. You really want to dump cornbread out as soon as it comes out of the pan so that it won't get soggy. If I kind of turn them a little bit. I won't turn it all. Let's see these two. Okay, those came out pretty good. One more, y'all, one more. Here we go. Yay! Well, it took a little doing, but we got them out. Okay. When I get them all served up, I'll show y'all what we have. All right, well, here it is, y'all. A cornbread cup full of pinto beans with ham. I'm not going to taste it because y'all know that's good eating, right? Just cornbread, pinto beans. So, will I keep the little pan? It's really a pain to get the stuff out, but I think I'll keep it and play with it. Maybe next time I'll use brownies and put some ice cream in it. So this is the corner that goes around our fish pond. And this old cross found a home on this big old chunk of concrete. This chunk of concrete is too big and heavy to move. It's kind of ugly, but I think the cross kind of decorates it up there. Y'all remember the fountain I bought? The pump didn't work, but I finally found a solar powered fountain and got it to work. I need to reset the way the little cherub sits on the base. It's not quite straight, but it's working, and now I can seal up that attachment and get it to sit flat. And I snugged this little cutie patootie in beside these pots on my front flower bed. I think she looks really cute there. Well, thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed finding out what I do with some of the things I thrift. If you enjoyed my video and you're not a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe. Ring the bell so you get notifications of upcoming videos. I'm going to be out thrifting this weekend, and we'll have another thrift video to show you what I snap up. I pray that God blesses you and your family richly. Y'all be kind to one another and bloom where you're planted. This is Ginger with Ginger Snap Thrifting.